Beautiful day here in Dover, Delaware. NASCAR Nationwide Series cars rolling out behind the pace car. So let's take a look at our starting grid. Fourth pole of the year and 11th of the year for Toyota. Kyle Busch will lead him down. And beside him, best ever qualifying effort for a 24-year-old Wisconsin driver, Kelly Byers. Could he be our 14th first-time winner at Dover? He was that good in the final practice session. While you watch to see where your favorite driver started, let's visit with our in-race reporter, Jamie McMurray, who starts 7th in the City Financial Ford.
Hey, Jamie, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
Loud and clear.
Hey, Jamie, we've heard many drivers, including yourself, say how much they enjoy racing here at Dover. What's most special about it to you?
Man, I don't know. It's just, it's super fast racetrack. It's a lot of fun here if your car is good. This is one of the places, though, that if your car's off, it's a really tough track. So I've always liked Dover, and we've run well here ever since it was the Busch Series. So I look forward to today.
All right, Jamie, our second question comes from our ESPN mailbag, and one of your fans, Larry, in Birmingham, Alabama, would like to know, you've run well at Dover, and so has Roush Fenway. Do you feel like the pieces are in place for you to get your first Dover win today?
Absolutely. This is City Financial's home racetrack. They're based just over right by here in Baltimore. So we have got a lot of fans in the stands from City Financial today, and certainly look forward to getting a win for them. It's been a good track for Roush Fenway, and it's been a good track for me, so we're going to do what it takes today.
All right, Jamie, thanks for talking with us, and good luck today.
10-4.
Hey, Pierre Cattell, Andy Petrie up here in the booth. You got us?
Andy, I got you loud and clear.
Hey, PK, a couple of things here. How do you like this new tire, this new right side tire we have, and how might that affect strategy today?
I tell you what, Goodyear's done a good job on this redesign with this tire here. It's lasted really well. In the past, when we've shown up here, on this first practice with a green racetrack, we'd only get about 15 to 18 laps before we get to the cords. So Goodyear's done a wonderful job getting us a great tire. We're going to have to see how the strategy plays out. In that first practice, we just didn't get a lot of time on it. And, I'm sorry, we did get a lot of time. They gave us another set of tires, and it looks like the wear's going to be good.
Okay, PK, you guys have good luck today. Thank you for talking to us.
This one should be fun to watch. Everybody excited about the new right side tire and how good the racing should be. For us, update some of the stories we'll be following today. Heading to the pits first, here's Jamie Little.
Well, Doc, somebody to watch today, Kevin Harvick back behind the wheel of his 33 car. Now what's different? Crew chief Shane Wilson. They work together in the Nationwide Series. He's actually just on loan today to Kevin Harvick from Richard Childress Racing. These two have quite the history together. 15 nationwide wins. They won the championship in 2006. Shane tells me they have the car that can get it done today and win here. Kevin Harvick is great on these concrete tracks, but he's never won here at Dover and never won in his own car. Shannon Spake?
Well, Jamie, we're all familiar with the nickname Concrete Carl, but there is a driver looking to dethrone Carl Edwards. That's Brad Keselowski, who has 2 wins this season on this type of track. His most recent coming at Bristol in the very car that he's driving here today. Now, Keselowski is starting this race 12th, but if he does go on to victory lane, we might just have to come up with a new nickname. How about Concrete K? Mike?
Well, Shannon, as we heard Andy Petrie say earlier, one variable that could be a factor today, the new right side tire. By all accounts, it's been a very positive change. Why? Well, let me show you here. These are the marbles this tire is producing, much like the old traditional tire. Real rubber, if you will. We've seen so many tires here in 2008 that just disintegrate, form a powder-like substance. That has not been the case. Much more grip. Speeds are not really falling off with these tires. The cars are reacting better to changes, and these tires are more durable. One crew chief told me they thought they could go 20 laps before getting down to cords. Instead, they went 65, Dave.
And Mike, finally, don't let this place get to you or get you. Narrow pit road, high banking, a track that can clutter if there's crashes. Don't let this place get to you. Don't let it be like the B movie where everyone runs and stands right in front of the monster and doesn't go anywhere. Don't let this monster get you. Run away from it. Don't let it get you with the things that it can do. Doc?
The monster can reach out and bite you. We're going to have you inside the action throughout the afternoon. 8 different onboard cameras. 43 drivers. Some of the NASCAR Nationwide Series at best. It is a 200-lap race, 200 miles, pit road speed 35 miles an hour. Very hard to get down to 35 coming off turn 4 so abruptly. There's the pit window. And the banking at 24 degrees in the turns, 9 degrees on the straightaway. Pace car is pulled away. getting set to turn them loose. Kyle Busch and Kelly Byers on the front row.
Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin getting a good jump on Denny Hamlin, even better jump.
Yeah, he jumped right on Kyle Busch, but Kyle was good off turn 2. Kelly Byers spun the tires pretty hard right at the start-finish line.
Kyle Busch leads this lap. It will be his 4,000th lap led. The 6th driver in the NASCAR Nationwide Series to ever lead 4,000 or more laps, and that milestone has just been reached.
I don't think he's going to stop there.
Car looks awful strong. He was quite a bit faster in qualifying than the second place car. He's showing right here just how strong this car is. He stretches it out over Denny Hamlin and Kelly Byers on these first 2 laps.
Kelly Byers in the 47 car. A couple of weeks ago, this team, JTG Daugherty, wasn't sure he was going to be able to run the rest of the year. They were lacking some sponsorship. They were able to secure that and went to Kelly and said, "You've done a great job, and we are going to have you here for a long time." Here's the 20 car, Logano, inside of McMurray.
It's a good little race right here. You see McMurray working that outside groove, but Logano's too strong on the bottom.
It'll be interesting to watch Joey Logano. This is the first time he's been back to a racetrack in one of these nationwide cars. This was his first start back in June, so it'll be interesting to see just how much he learned from that. He had a good day that day.
Got to feel good for him being able to go back to the same racetrack for the first time. Carl Edwards, a 60 car, and the 66, Stephen Wallace, who was in the top 10 in the final practice, finished 11th here back in June. There's the 88 car, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch him today. Shannon had talked me into picking him as a sleeper. I was so convinced by what she was saying down there. That's who I was going to pick. So it will be interesting to watch this race team. You know, things haven't gone exactly their way, even though they have some wins, but they've fallen out of the points battle a little bit. But see what he can do here today as he gets to the inside of Stephen Wallace off of turn 4. A little bit loose right there.
A little slip right there.
Exactly what will happen. You have to be careful, just like we heard Rusty say in the countdown show. You have to be careful getting down into the corner on the inside of a car too. Very easy for that air to get off your spoiler and the back end to come around in a hurry.
This is 10th, 11th, and 12th. There's Jason Leffler in the 38 car moving on the bottom of Stephen Wallace.
Yeah, Stephen's hanging tough on the outside, and that groove will come in as they run more laps. Right now, he's a little vulnerable when those guys got this position on the inside. See Jason Leffler right here on the inside in the 38, trying to make the pass and can't quite get it done. Looks like that groove's starting to come in just a little bit up top.
Scott Wimmer behind him, the 29 car. Wimmer, we showed you, he got his very first win at this racetrack, and coming off that runner-up finish at Richmond 2 weeks ago, we would like to get another win. He's a driver, by the way, that's looking for a ride in 2009.
He has a win this year on a concrete track at Nashville, so if that means anything, he should do well here.
Yeah, and right behind him we saw Bobby Hamilton Jr., who was good in practice yesterday. As we see Kyle Busch right here. He's pulled out to almost a 2-second lead over Denny Hamlin.
Kyle Busch has led the first 7 laps thus far. We talked about the championship chase here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Carl Edwards has to get it done these final 7 races. Let's listen to their radio, their pep talk during the pre-race.
All right, guys, same thing we always do. Just do your best. You've been doing a great job. Thanks for all the hard work. Just have some fun. How many races are left? 7. That's plenty of time. All we got to do is our best, and we'll be fine.
Gotta love hearing that, and drivers talking about you're not going to get it all back in one race, but if you can chip away race by race by race, you got a shot at getting there. How quickly do you go around this racetrack, Andy? It doesn't take long to start lapping traffic.
Now here he comes. He's already caught the tail of the field now. He's starting to put these guys down a lap pretty quick.
Going by the 90 car of Johnny Chapman, Kyle Busch driving the car that Denny Hamlin dominated with back in the spring. He is our leader early on. Motorsports calendar coming up. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Happy Hour tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, following our coverage here. By the way, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the fastest in the early afternoon session. We'll see how he'll do at Happy Hour. NHRA O'Reilly Auto Parts qualifying. NASCAR Now tomorrow morning. Our coverage live here at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. NASCAR Sprint Cup presented by Principal Financial Group and NASCAR Now ESPN2 tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern Time. Kyle Busch has led now the first 17 laps from the pole. Teammate Denny Hamlin back in second spot. Kelly Byers. There's Hamlin. Behind him, Kelly Byers, who had started on the outside front row, trying to hold on to third position. There's the 47 car of Byers. But the one car, who was the fastest car in Nationwide Series happy hour, Mike Bliss, is on the move.
Yeah, he ran this group down. They've been lapping some cars, but this one car looks pretty racy early. Mike?
Yeah, and real confident coming in as well, Andy. I spoke with Mike Bliss on Friday afternoon. He said this is the same car they had back in May. He felt that particular race, they were a top 3 car until they left the wheel loose during a pit stop. He said he feels like they should have won a race this year, but their weakness has been their pit stops. That's something to pay attention to throughout the afternoon, especially if this one car is running up front.
Yeah, I know they've been working on those pit stops. They've changed a lot of people around and really worked hard on it this year. They have a fast car today, and hopefully they'll have good pit stop.
Yeah, they're picking a tough pit road to do well on, too. That'll be another interesting thing. We didn't talk much about that, but this is a tight pit road right here, and it makes it even more difficult for these pit crews. You see Kyle Busch, he's in a lot of traffic, but
yeah, he just lapped Kenny Wallace.
Yeah, he's so fast, he's not making it look like that it's much to it.
81 car. He's going by beneath that is Kevin Hamlin. 30 car up there, Stanton Barrett moving in on Stanton, who came here with 2 cars for the weekend, trying to qualify for the Cup race and the Nationwide race. Trying to put together a program for 2009 to run more in the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Like Kyle Busch can drive this car anywhere on the racetrack. It just sticks right on the bottom. No problem there.
Kyle Busch has already run over 63 different races in 2008 and has a combined 18 victories. You ask him, Kyle, why do you race so much?
Just to choose to run in any series is just because I'd rather be out there on the racetrack than in a motorhome watching it. You know, I mean, you hear trucks or cars going around the racetrack and you're sitting there, you're watching it on TV anyway. So why not just be out there participating in it? And, you know, that's my philosophy on it.
Now he's driving the car that his teammate Denny Hamlin actually won with here back at the end of May. And I asked the guys what the biggest gain was they made to that race car over the course of practice for Kyle, as we see now Jason Leffler getting underneath the 60 of Carl Edwards. And Kyle said that the biggest gain was a shock package that gave me more overall grip, and it sure looks like the 18 has it at the start of this race.
Race car just looks different than the other cars. I mean, obviously it's faster, but it just looks like the whole race car is down in the racetrack. And man, when you get something like that as a driver at a fun place like this, better watch out.
Marcus Ambrose, the 59 car, making a move. There is the 2 car, our points leader. That is Clint Boyer. Boyer being shown in 17th spot. Ambrose is 16th in front of him.
Well, he's not going forward all of that fast. He's being pretty patient. The good thing is if he keeps running like that, he's going to see his closest competitor, Carl Edwards, coming back towards him.
99 car making a move. David Rudeman underneath Stephen Wallace. Both these guys ran very well here in the spring.
And Stephen looks like he's still struggling just a little bit. You can see him get a run there back up to David Rudeman, but probably because that inside car usually has to check up just a little, and Stephen was back in the gas. But
whoa, Rudeman getting real loose right here.
Pretty loose, yeah. Just typical here. These cars are very aero sensitive, and you run pretty fast, and you're still going over 140 miles an hour through the corner, so you get somebody right on that back bumper. Makes it interesting. Mike?
Yeah, guys, just before you put him on camera, David Rudeman did radio in and said, guys, I'm getting extremely loose. Jerry Baxter had to calm him down a little bit and said, next time we bring you down pit road, we'll make a track bar adjustment. We're planning to lower it a little bit and tighten you up.
David Rudeman trying to hold on to his position. Currently being shown in 13th spot. It has been all Kyle Busch thus far. Set on the pole and has led all 28 laps. Back in just a moment.
Back at Dover, the spring race winner here is in trouble. Denny Hamlin had to bring his car on pit road. He described a vibration. He thinks it might be a loose wheel. He said, I just can't stay out here any longer. They will go and change all 4 tires for him, then get a look at those wheels and see if that was the problem. Vibration was reported about 5 laps ago. Denny trying to win 3 in a row in this series and 2 in a row here at Dover, but it doesn't look like it's going to be good that way for him today. Alan?
All right, Dave, thanks. We'll see where that cycles Denny Hamlin out to, but it looks like it's going to put him 2 laps down as Kyle Busch goes by him, and that is going to be awfully hard to make up. Just 37 laps into the race now. Rusty, that vibration thing at this racetrack, that does not make a driver happy.
This is a really high-speed racetrack with a lot of downforce. And, man, if you got a loose wheel, you got to get that baby in and fix it. First of all, he's a chase contender. He can't afford to get hurt in this race today.
Good race here for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Joey Logano in the 20, Brad Keselowski in the 88, and Scott Wimmer in the 29.
Yeah, these guys are really getting after it. We look at Brad Keselowski had a 7th place finish here last time around. I know he wants to improve upon that. If he can get that car back to victory lane, then we have a serious battle for this championship.
Logano hanging on there on the bottom. Talked about that bottom lane coming off the corners. Rusty, Dave, you got to follow up on Hamlin's car?
Absolutely, Alan. You look at the left rear wheel on this car, and you can see that the place where the studs go through and the lug nuts hook on, that's rounded out in a very oval-like fashion. That means it was wobbling on that race car. And as you guys talked about, not at all comfortable at these speeds.
You know, that happens after a pit stop during the race. You say, okay, somebody made a mistake. How does that happen from the start of the race?
They might have forgot to torque the wheels tight enough, and I've seen this happen many, many times. Some guys blame it on the wheels, and the crew guys swear to gosh that it was torqued, and it comes loose. I've had it happen to our team 3 times, Alan, so this is not abnormal.
Yeah, that thing gets out there and rides on the studs, and it'll just round them off just like we saw.
Looking for the championship contenders coming up through the field. There is Carl Edwards. He's up to 10th spot now. The 60 started 8th, dropped back a few positions on the start. Now trying to pick his way back to the front. And Clint Boyer's not all that far from him, but he is behind him.
Yeah, Clint's made his way up. He's up about 7 spots since the start. He's got a good, solid race car. Carl Edwards dropped back 2 spots, but he looks like he's gaining his momentum back. Had to fill himself out. Looks like Carl is bearing down on getting into that top 10. These guys are going to be racy before long.
So the three-peat bid has taken a hurting. The championship guys trying to make their way through the field, and Doc, all of it's going on pretty well behind Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch just picking them off one by one. There now are only 21 cars on the lead lap here at 42 laps in, so that's how good Kyle Busch has been. Now, we would expect Kyle to run well here. The car that dominated here, as you heard him say back in the spring with Denny Hamlin. But one of the big surprises, one of the pleasant surprises of the weekend has been the run of the 24-year-old Kelly Byers in the 47 car.
Car is handling great right here. You see how he's moving under these lap cars. That one car, Mike Bliss, is pretty well kept up with him as they make their way to the front. Only problem is Kyle Busch keeps getting smaller.
Yeah, he's out 5 seconds in front of these guys right now. I watched yesterday, both practice sessions, Kelly Byers was up at the front, and you watched as they kept putting laps on the tires, and the car just continued to get better. Dave?
Guys, interesting during qualifying today as Byers now looks to the inside of John West Townley to get around him. The car was hitting the rev limiter very hard from the middle of the front straightaway on down. A long time to be on the rev limiter. So I asked Kelly if he was aware of that. He said, yeah, I was aware of that. I asked about it. Crew Chief Scott Zipadelli said we'd be okay, but that was a long time to ride the chip on every lap.
Took him a little while to get around the 09, Dave, as well, trying to tiptoe by the John West Townley making his first start. Here's Denny Hamlin, has been on and off pit road. If you just joined our coverage, they had a wheel issue, a stud issue problem in the left rear that's cost him now 2 laps. To update exactly what happened, let's go down and take a look at our Chevy Cutaway car and Tim Brewer.
Hey folks, what you seen a while ago was the wheel area was actually walled out right here, but what they didn't explain to you, as that thing was rocking back and forth, it actually wore the threads off of this wheel stud. So he's probably going to be calling back in here in a little while if they didn't get that thing extremely tight, because once you wear those threads out right there, the only thing you can possibly do to help the thing is go in and put a wheel spacer on it, which moves the threads back in place. Doesn't give you as many threads, but it gives you good threads to bolt the thing to. So if he calls back in there with another loose wheel, they're going to have to put this wheel spacer on there to get away from those bad threads.
Thanks, Tim. That's the fix, and I guess I've seen that done numerous times in the pits. Not something you want to do, but it's the only option you got.
Yeah, one of the reasons that guys maybe can leave a wheel loose on the start of a race is they don't want the tires or the wheels too tight. And they get ready to make that pit stop, they want those things just to fly right off of there. So they just put enough torque on those things to hold the wheel what they think will hold the wheel on, and sometimes they just don't put enough torque on.
Battle for ninth spot. Carl Edwards goes downstairs to go around Joey Logano and take the position away. McMurray moving in on the 33 car of Harvick.
Yeah, Jamie McMurray steadily made his way up here. He fell back a couple of spots on the start of the race, but has consistently been running good lap times and has moved into Kevin Harvick here.
Scott Lagasse is the lap car in between these two in the 11 car.
Lagasse replacing Jason Keller this week in that car. Will be in the car for the remainder of 2008 and all of 2009. McMurray on the move. They're trying to run down the leader right now, and it's Kyle Busch showing the way. Working lap 55 here in Dover, Delaware. Kyle Busch has led every single one of them from the pole thus far. Denny Hamlin, his teammate, who had been on pit road and lost a couple of laps, able to go by with fresh tires. As you look down on this racetrack, this 1 mile concrete oval, you can see a lot of different grooves being chosen by the different drivers, and rather successfully. Rusty Wallace, what's all that about?
Doc, I'm watching what's going on right here, and I'm kind of liking it right now. This new tire these fellows are running out there seems as though they don't have to run right on the bottom of the racetrack. I see them running multiple grooves on the bottom, in the middle, up top. Kyle Busch is still the fastest car out there. And one reason I've been wondering about Kyle for many races now. DJ, I don't know if you've been watching this 18 car or not, but this car seems like it's awful flat in the back of the car. A lot of cars I see, there's a lot of rake. The front ends are low. The back ends are very, very high. But week after week, I see the Gibbs cars awful flat, and it seems to be paying off for them. So they must not be paying a lot of attention to this pitch in the car like many of them are.
Yeah, it looks like they may be opting for some grip and mechanical grip, and that may mean softer springs in the back end, and that could be something to do with the tires that we have now, that they're going away a little bit from that to try to get some mechanical grip and to make that tire in the sidewall work a little bit better. It's an ongoing battle these guys have, but Kyle Busch I think he's got that Rusty Wallace line going right now, right around the bottom here. That's how I always remembered you being fast around here, and Kyle Busch has got this baby hooked up.
Well, I think everybody wants to run the short way around the racetrack, which is usually right on the bottom, but whether we're at California or whether we're at Michigan or whatever, I have been seeing these Gibbs cars, the 18 car, the 20. The attitude is totally different than the rest of the field, and I got to believe there's something to this. They got to face it, guys. They've won more races than the rest of these cats, so there must be something happening there.
You know, one thing that could be, and if it's something specific to the Gibbs guys, and especially with this, is, you know, as they took horsepower away from these Toyotas, they might wanted to lessen the drag a little bit on these race cars, and that would be one thing to get get the spoiler out of the air a little bit.
Yeah, Andy, I would say that, you know, you've been in the wind tunnel many times. You know, if you put the car really high up in the back, it gives you more downforce, but it does really kill the straightaway speed. So just like DJ said, that could be a real balance they're working on.
Yeah, if you got excess horsepower like the Cup cars and these cars did last year, you can stand a little more of that tail high attitude because it makes more downforce. But when you are restricted on the motor, they find a way to get it back.
Just 20 cars now in the lead lap, so why don't we get you up to speed? We'll let Nationwide Insurance take you up to speed, beginning with our leader, Kyle Busch and Dave Burns.
And Jerry, when you have a race car this good, you ask certain questions. Kyle just asked his spotter, who am I watching? He said, what? Who am I watching? Who's likely to wreck in front of me? What do I have to be careful of? He said, basically 3 or 4 guys right in front of you right now. Just keep your eyes open, and that's what he's doing. This car is on cruise control. The 47 car of Kelly Byers is trying to keep up with him, but he's quite a few car lengths back at this point. A little overheating of the motor, not bad right now, nothing to worry about, and just a little bit tight in the center of the corner. That's what Kelly Byers is recording, running second. Mike?
So far this year, Dave, Mike Bliss has recorded 12 top 10 finishes. His career high is 14. He certainly is looking to eclipse that mark and is on a pace right now to notch yet another top 10. Only thing he's saying right now about the car, it's getting a little bit tight, but still pretty strong, Dave.
Looking a little further back, Mike, we find our in-race reporter, Jamie McMurray. He's reporting so far that his car is tight from the center off, but that was actually improving. The exit of the corner is getting better from the 17, the longer he runs.
Edwards' nickname, calling him Concrete Carl. What about Concrete Brad? Brett Keselowski has an average finish on concrete tracks this year of 3.4. That includes 2 wins, one at Nashville, one at Bristol. Running very strong, just a little bit tight on exit. Meanwhile, right behind him, that's Scott Wimmer, another guy who's had some success on concrete over the years. He's had a pretty good weekend so far. In practice, he was about, in his estimation anyway, about a 10th off the pace of the 18 car. He said, though, we could probably run with Kyle Busch on long runs. That's where we're real strong. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick still looking for his first career win behind the wheel of one of his KHI cars. This may be the afternoon. He's reunited with his longtime crew chief, Shane Wilson, who's on loan from RCR. Remember, they've had magical chemistry over the years, including 6 victories together a year ago. They're looking for that combination to pay dividends once again this afternoon. Car's just a little bit tight, Jamie.
And right behind him, Mike, is Jason Lepper. He's been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack all race long. Now, they had a little incident in practice. They didn't get a qualifying run in because the motor felt a little sluggish and a little flat. They thought they blew it up. Well, when they brought it in, realized they had a hole in the tailpipe. Of course, they fixed it. They came out. They're one of the fastest cars. He's been running top 10 the entire time. Behind him is Carl Edwards, and we're going to go upstairs to Doc.
Thanks, guys, and a pretty good battle heating up here. Watch Bliss now moving in on the 47 car of Byers. Byers has run laps considerably quicker, but now Bliss has reeled him back in, and they're going to try to make the pass.
Here he goes. He's finally getting underneath this 47. They've been together the whole race since it started, and going for this spot, and Mike Bliss finally makes the pass. They've actually caught Kyle Busch a couple of seconds, and I know that Kyle Busch has been in traffic, and that's caused him to lose a little bit of this lead, but these guys have actually made up some ground on him.
Probably a wise move by Kelly Byers to let Mike Bliss go too early on to be battling with bumpers and fenders here at Dover. Pit stops when we come back. Up across the track, the 47 car has hammered the wall.
As a right front tire blew out, you can see it happen.
Come on down. You okay, Kelly?
That's why he had slowed down right there. Allowed Mike Bliss to get around him. He had the tire going down, and all of a sudden in turn 3.
Oh, what a great beginning and an
Got a tire there? Left front, blue.
Abruptly up across the racetrack, looking back from Bliss.
Watch this.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're doing a hell of a job there, bud. Proud of you.
There's not a worse place. There's no good place for this to happen, but there's not a worse place than here at Dover. You're barreling off down in that corner, the tire lets go, and there's nothing that you can do. Thank goodness for the safer barriers that we do have here. Makes that a lot less painful. Kelly Byers is moving around inside the car, which is a good thing.
DJ, many drivers have hit before, and they've told me when they come back to the care center that the first thing is you just can't get your breath. You can't get a deep breath, so people are talking to you on the radio and you can't respond because you can't breathe.
Yeah, we heard Kelly not be able to say very little right there, and it literally does. Again, you barrel off into that corner, you're running over 170 miles an hour, and you literally, nothing slows it down. Even though that tire goes down, you almost feel like you pick up speed, and you hit that wall a ton, and it just knocks whatever breath you have in you out, and it takes a little time to recuperate from that and get your wits about you. See this real speed right here. Wow. I've done that before, folks. I can assure you that any driver that's been here and had that to happen, and you see that happen, it's almost like you lose that again. But right front just lets go. And again, this obviously was something he was probably feeling, that tire was either coming apart or he had run over something and that tire was going down, and then it let go going into that corner.
And Andy, they were just a handful of laps away from their first scheduled stop.
Yeah, they had a lot of laps on these tires, so the rubber is kind of thin on them, so if they do run over something, it can cause something like this right here.
Let's go down to pit stops. Mike.
Remember, Doc, Mike Bliss said back in May when they were here last, the reason they really fall off the pace is because of a loose tire on a pit stop. Pay close attention. Car's a little bit tight. Team going to work now on the right side, trying to pull off a clean stop there, but still trying to compete with the faster crews. They're swinging now finally to the left side, trying to loosen that car up, Dave.
Middle of your screen, Jamie McMurray said the car is much better track bar and air pressure adjustment for actually just air pressure in the right rear. Kyle Busch, the leader on the bottom, slow on the left front now, and he wants a track bar and air pressure adjustment. Doesn't cost him though, as they fill it full of Sunoco fuel and give him 4 fresh tires.
Well, in spite of Kyle being slow getting that tire on because of where he was pitted at the end of pit road, didn't cost him anything. Mike Bliss lost a spot. Carl Edwards up 2. Let's take you over the wall and show you what happens for the Jackman. Mitch Lash out of Salisbury, North Carolina, reporting for David Rudiman's car.
Side. Back it up. Pull it fire. Place it. Drop to right. Go. Back to left side. Send him.
David Rudiman exiting the pits in 8th position. Very good car. Under caution for the first time today. Back with a restart in just a moment. Tonight, ABC College Football preseason #1 Georgia Bulldogs look to remain unbeaten against Rudy Carpenter and the Arizona State Sun Devils. How will Georgia's ground attack respond to the hostile environment in Tempe? Saturday night college football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Some issues on pit road for the 88 car. Brad Keselowski here just a moment ago.
It's in front of you there. They tend to get stacked up real quick here a lot. I'll let you know what's going on.
See right here, they have clean stop going so far. Right rear guy now loses a lug nut. He's got a place on his helmet where he's carrying an extra lug nut, but it takes just that, second or two to put it on there. Here's the team examining the tape, trying to figure out what happened.
So they can go to the videotape and see that they can learn what happened. Also issues with the left front for Kyle Busch.
Yeah, he had the advantage of having a big lead when he came in and the #1 pit stall. So this little hiccup they had with mounting that left front tire didn't cost him the lead.
The Aaron's lucky dog was the 27 car. Jason Keller making his 451st career start. And he will, because he was the first car lap down, he will get the Aaron's lucky dog free pass and be back on the lead lap. Now we are showing 22 cars on the lead lap. And by the way, Denny Hamlin now only 1 lap down as they come down to the green flag here on lap 76. Jamie McMurray trying not to let Kyle Busch get away.
We saw Jamie drive his way up well into the top 5 before that caution flag. There's Denny Hamlin down on the inside, making it 3 wide, getting into turn 3. He's trying to make up as much time as he possibly can to get himself in that lucky dog spot if we should happen to have another caution, which would get him back on the lead lap.
Comes the points leader, the 2-car Clint Boyer, trying to work his way inside the 38 of Jason Leffler. By the way, you Kelly Byers fans, he was treated and examined and released from the infield care center. He's okay. Shannon.
Yeah, down here with Kelly Byers, who just got released from the infield care center. Such a promising day. It looks like the car just took off on you. What happened there?
Yeah, we had a strong car there. Very happy with it. Just a little bit tight. We need to make one small adjustment, but just blew the left front tire getting into turn 3. But real proud of all the guys at JTG Doherty Racing. We built a real fast race car. It's a top 5 car, and that's what we need to do. We'll build another one and come back to Kansas and run good again.
All right. Unlucky day for Kelly Byers, Doc.
And that young man hit a ton, but fortunately able to walk away. There's the 88 Brad Keselowski, who had the problem with the tire on pit road. He was back in 12th spot on the restart, has now gained up to 10th. There's the 32 car of Denny Hamlin, still showing 1 lap down. If they just joined our coverage, he made an unscheduled stop for a vibration and loose wheel back on lap 34.
Yeah, Denny still has 3 other cars in front of him that are a lap down, and he's going to have to get to those guys as he battles hard back here in the pack. Problem he's got is he's racing cars that are fast cars that are on the lead lap, along with trying to catch those guys.
Joey Logano now going by Brad Keselowski. That would be for position on the racetrack. Leffler is 9th, the 38 car, then the 88 and 20 battling for 10th spot.
The team cars is 32 and 38. They're really close together right here.
Haven't they had some contact this year already? I think that was Darlington. Might have been also here. Yeah. There's the 2 car, Clint Boyer, in front of Landon Castle. Boyer now moving all the way up to 8th position. Some of the biggest movers. There is Boyer, moved 14 spots. Rudiman up, and so is David Strimmy. Jamie.
And Clint Boyer, who you're talking about, started 22nd on that last stint before the stop. He said this car's just taken too long to come around to me. It's great on the long run, but it was extremely loose in the beginning. So on that last stop, they made an air pressure adjustment. Had a great stop. They gained 4 positions. The car is still better as he continues to knock them off one at a time, Doc.
Jamie, that's exactly what Clint needs to do, is march this car into the top 10 and stay there. I mean, he doesn't have to worry about winning races, and he's just been so consistent this year. Only 1 win on the season, but it's that consistency that's allowed him to stay atop the points for now 23 consecutive weeks.
And with a 200-point lead, he can afford to just be solid right here. He doesn't have to do anything flashy or try to roll the dice on anything. Just be solid, just stick to the fundamentals, and that's what they're doing a good job of it right here.
Yeah, he doesn't have to look far to see the 60 car right up in front. We see a battle going on here. Denny Hamlin, who is a lap down, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, these guys have been battling hard.
Wow, this 3-wide battle off the corner right here.
There's a lot of room on this track, but not coming out of the corners, I don't think, for 3-wide.
David Reagan also moving in, one of the double-duty drivers. Reagan the 5th in the NASCAR Nationwide Series points in that 6 car.
Got a report from the pits that the tire wear looked pretty good on those cars that made their stops after that long run.
That's good to hear. You always wonder after you have a tire problem like we saw with the 47 car there, and knowing there is a new right side tire here, was there any problems? But wow, Denny Hamlin
he's driving hard, and that car is really not right.
No, not at all right now.
He can't afford to lose spots here. He's got to work his way up to try to get in this position for this lucky dog, and the caution is out.
You have to wonder in Denny Hamlin's situation, though. We have debris in turn 1. But in Denny Hamlin's position, is that thing working loose again? Just like we heard Tim Brewer talk about the studs, and is that going to stay tight throughout there? And that's not something he needs to be worried about, as he has tomorrow to think about.
This second caution flag of the day will allow the 22 car. That would be the lucky dog. There's the debris in turn 1.
A brace of some sort. You don't want that thing. You've already seen a tire go down. You don't want to see that again. So these guys run out here to get it, clean the track, and we'll be ready to go again.
Get an idea what kind of beating these cars actually take as they bump and settle and dive off into the corners here on this concrete. 22 car getting back on the lead lap. Josh Wise, the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass for Josh, who is the test driver for Michael Waltrip Racing. Driving the 22 owned by Armando Fitz. Kyle Busch has 7 wins in 2008 in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, including a very impressive performance on the West Coast at Fontana, California. Back at Dover, finishing second caution flag of the day and getting set to go back to green flag racing. Kyle Busch, who has led 89 of 90 laps thus far, will lead him down. Jamie McMurray behind him, and Mike Bliss, who had the best car in happy hour, back in 3rd spot and seems to be getting racier and racier. But he's going to have to hold off Kevin Harvick, who's also trying to move in there. Harvick has now already gone around the 29 car to take the 4th spot away.
We got a race in a race. We got this race for the lucky dog, and Denny Hamlin put a lot of pressure on this 5 car of Landon Castle.
And Harvick saying, get out of my way because I want to get underneath the 1 car in the turn. There's a 33 of Harvick. Not quite enough room.
No, he was trying to sneak his nose in there and make Bliss go up the track just a little bit, but Mike Bliss got back to the throttle and was able to hold him off there. See Scott Wimmer and Carl Edwards right behind him battling.
Concrete Carl trying to take that position away. Can't quite get it done. That's 5th and 6th.
Just try to stick that nose in there trying to get underneath. Just can't get that run up off the corner that you need from the bottom. You lose a little bit of time then. You see Carl drop back just a little bit. He's got David Ruderman on his bumper.
More on Carl with Jamie.
Well, Doc, I talked to his crew chief, Drew Blickensturfer, right before the race, and I said, well, you guys are 207 points back from Clint Boyer. Do you guys still feel like you have a chance to win this championship? He said, absolutely. He said, we're taking a new approach. We're going to be a little more aggressive than normal. Not risky, just aggressive on our setup. So we're going to go for wins. That's all we can do. We need the 2 in order for us to win the championship, but we're definitely not counting ourselves out.
Action all over this racetrack, Jamie. A moment ago, contact between the 32 and the 5, and now contact between Hamlin and the 1 car.
Yeah, it's been hot and heavy. These guys were going at it. This 32 car of Denny Hamlin has been trying to get in this lucky dog spot desperately and getting kind of mixed up with these guys racing for position.
Right now, the 5 car has the lucky dog. He's the first car a lap down. That's right in front of the 1 car. Landon Castle, the 19-year-old. There's Castle. He got bumped by the 32 2 laps ago, gathered it back in, which allowed the car to go by Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, and I don't think they want to see Denny Hamlin get back on the lead lap, so they're going to race as hard as they can to keep him back there. Even though his car's doesn't look that great right now, he has on tires that are a lot older than what these guys have on, so he's struggling trying to get that spot back. Dave?
And even though the tires are not fresh, DJ, the car has been pretty good. Just a little bit loose on the last time before they took on those tires. And just a slight track bar adjustment to help him out. So still a very good race car if he could just get back on the lead lap.
Oh, got to spin off of 4.
A hard lick with his 40 car on the front stretch.
Brian Clausen, we are being told by spotters he might have got a little help from behind. The Chip Ganassi Dodge, damage on both the front and the rear. Bringing out caution for the 3rd time.
He was a car still on the lead lap.
Same guy that wrecked everybody. Ambrose.
Just jacked him up, dude. That was straight up.
Sounds like they're not very happy with the 59 car right here. We'll see what happens.
Well, this 40 car started to get a little bit loose.
Yeah.
Right before the contact. You can see the front wheels were actually turned to the right just a little bit.
Yeah, you could see that possibility he had to get out of the throttle just a little bit, and hard for that car right behind you to check up all the time when you're wide open out of the corner. You can see right here, back end stepping out just a little bit.
And you can see the nose. You can see the nose of the 59 kind of drop, but the reaction there when you're that close, you just can't stay off the guy.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. 25 car going by. Josh Wise, all those cars on the lead lap.
Just how quickly that happens. Your car's already light when you come up out of that corner, the back end in particular, and it only takes just a small touch, and if you have to crack the throttle just a little bit, the guy behind you wide open, it's hard for him to react that quickly.
Ryan Clausen only 3 points out of first place in Rookie of the Year. Let's take a look at our Castrol GTX triple pit stops. Let's go down to the pits and Mike.
Biggest complaint for Jamie McMurray was that the car hit so hard at the start of the run, he really couldn't compete as well as he wanted to. So they're going to make an air pressure adjustment for him and 4 tires for him. The 18, our leader, Kyle Busch, they really discussed whether or not to come down at this point. Kyle wanted to know how many laps to go. The call was made for that. He said, yeah, let's come down. 4 tires. He'll be beat off the pit road by the 6 car of David Reagan, but no adjustments to the 18 car.
Reagan up 8 spots. Edwards lost 2 positions on that pit stop.
Yeah, but
Clint Boyer did also.
Yeah, have some more than that. I believe those cars might have got together. The 60 and the 2 on pit road. They've been together on the racetrack quite a bit this year.
No love lost here. While these 2 points contenders trying to exit, there comes Rudeman out.
99.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, this is, yeah, he got a lot of damage out of this, Clint Boyer. You just can't race side by side down this pit road. You have to get single file as soon as possible.
Yeah, you can't even take that chance whatsoever, because anytime that somebody else pulls out, that just takes away another spot there or another lane, and it creates this very type situation. When you're the points leader, it's not what you want to have happen.
Boyer has to come back on pit road to get some of that sheet metal peeled away. Headed down at 35 miles per hour. Jamie.
And Clint Boyer just telling his team, I've got damage left and right front. They're going to check. He asked him to check that camber when he was coming down. And Clint asking his team right now, make sure we weren't speeding there, make sure I wasn't in the right gear. He's supposed to be in first gear, 4,500 RPM coming down. So they're pulling those fenders out there, trying to fix that damage. Unfortunate incident. The 60 and the 2 find each other once again, Doc.
88 car back in, Jamie. They're trying to get some pull some fenders away from that right rear on Brad Keselowski's car. Mike?
It's been a rough day on pit road for the 88 team, guys. You know, they had a bad stop their first time down pit road. That last stop, not very good either. Brad came over the radio just before he came down pit road saying, hey, check my lug nuts. I think I may have a loose wheel. I feel a vibration. Still, the team going to work now on the right side of that car. A lot of bear bond being put on there, too. Maybe some damage. They've got the sledgehammer out as well. He's away.
Not a good day in the pits here. We talked about how this is a very difficult track, not only to get on pit road, but to be able to survive and get off.
That's a disaster right here. The car fell off the jack.
And they don't have a lot of things going right. Carl Edwards with some bracing hanging out the back of that. I don't think the aero part of it there is that bad. We can see him pulling out here. Carl Edwards, the 2 car on the outside, and then David Rudiman, who has to go around the 88.
The problem right here is Clint Boyer put himself in a bad position by putting his car up on the outside of the 60. Yep. Right here, he should be single file because this pit road is just too narrow to do this.
Yeah, and when you're in that spot, you're not going to beat that 60 car out anyway, so just get back in line.
And you're not allowed to pass anyway when you're in the outside lane on pit road. That's against the rules in NASCAR, so now the damage pretty evident there for the 2 car of Clint Boyer. Welcome back to the Camping World RV Sales 200. Just past the halfway point. Contact on pit road, the 2 and the 60. Let's listen in. First, here's Clint Boyer.
99 police car up into it. No problem. We got a good race car. Be okay here. We'll be okay. The 2's way worse than we are. He's missing fenders here, Carl. We'll fix this right rear sail panel if we have to.
Getting set to restart. The 2 car back in 20th. He is the final car on the lead lap. Mike Bliss, who did not pit, will lead him down into turn 1.
We got about 6 cars that did not pit there under that round. Mike Bliss being the leader. Jason Leffler now looking on the inside.
Yeah, we can get racy here all of a sudden. Right behind him, we can see Denny Hamlin, who did pit there. He had 2 cars that stayed out in front of him, but he's got himself back in that lucky dog spot if we should have another caution.
Hamlin, the 3rd car in line, is still being shown as a lap down. Here's the battle for the lead. Leffler has yet the lead today. Bliss has now led the last 7 laps. His lead coming under caution. Jamie.
Well, Doc, Jason Leffler said he has a great piece, meaning he loves this car, but he said right now he's chattering the nose. He's curious to see what it'll do under clean air, so he's trying desperately to get around that 1 car.
Caution a moment ago came out the 3rd time of the day for a hard impact by the 40 car. Brian Clausen, let's hear from him. Shannon.
Yeah, Brian Clausen just released from the Infield Care Center. Are you all right?
Yeah, you know, just a little sore. It's a big lick right there. Just, hate it. We just started working our car. We struggled all day yesterday, and finally got it working at the end of practice, and was running all right there, and then kept tuning on it, and, hate that it ended early. It's, don't really know what happened there. Felt like the 59 just kind of jacked us up off the corner there and turned us around, but we'll have to go back and look at it and see what happened.
Did you have any idea the 59 was so close to that back bumper?
Yeah, we were running in traffic there and trying to get around the 09, and I knew he was up there and working the high side, and kind of got a little tight behind the 09 there, and was going to go back to the high side over in 1 and 2, and he just jacked us up off of 4 there. So, like I said, hate it for all my guys and everybody on the Fastenal team. We worked really hard this weekend, and we'll go back at it in Kansas.
All right, a disappointing day for Brian Clausen, Doc, who, of course, is going for that Rookie of the Year here in the Nationwide Series.
Thanks, Shannon. Stephen Wallace, by the way, 66 car, he had stayed out and did not pit. He had already been on pit road lap 89 before that caution came out, just 10 laps earlier. He was trying to hold on to the 3rd spot, but Kyle Busch just came sailing by to take that spot away. There's the 18 of Busch.
Yeah, he's making fast work of all of these cars that he gets to.
But I'm looking at Mike Bliss's lap times. He did not pit, and he's making some really good laps right here. And we heard that this tire held up well, and it's showing that it is. It's a good move possibly for the Bliss team.
What did you say at the top of the show? The longer you run this tire, the faster it gets?
That's what a lot of guys said. They said it usually, they heat up, and the heat actually makes the tire slow down, but new tires really didn't help much.
Bit of a slip a moment ago by Clint Boyer. Went way up across the racetrack. Got to believe he's got some things bent in the front of that car trying to hold on here. is Kevin Harvick in his own car, going by the 29 of Wimmer. That's for 6th spot. Here's a look at our Holiday Inn Express race summary thus far. There have been 3 different leaders, 3 different lead changes. Mike Bliss currently our leader. Average speed thus far just over 112.4 miles per hour. We've been under caution 3 times. There are 20 cars on the lead lap, and we have had 15 laps of caution. Kyle Busch has led the most laps. He has led twice for 97 of 113 laps. Battle here for 13th position. Carl Edwards trying to hold on the 88 of Brad Keselowski. Mike.
It's been a tough day for Brad Keselowski, especially on pit road. Last time down under caution, their first stop, the car fell off the jack twice. During that stop, one of the crew members was also injured. The front tire carrier, Michael Sandlin, injured his hand. He's been taken to the care center. He's been replaced on that team by a member of the 5 team, Jeff Schoaf, for the remainder of this race, Doc.
Here's the incident. Now watch the front tire carrier. The jack pops and he's got his hand stuck in there between the car and the tire.
Oh, yeah, I know that hurts.
And also happened to the guy on the right rear, we're told as well, Andy.
Yeah, there's a guy back there that was working when that jack fell also. We just didn't get a camera shot of him, but that's kind of a dangerous situation when that car falls off the jack.
Brad trying to make up some time. Remember, these 2 guys were 2nd and 3rd in the points going into the last 2 races. And Brad Keselowski has had some miserable luck. Finished 33rd at California and 21st at Richmond. There's the 18 car taking the 2nd spot away.
He's now got 2nd spot, but Mike Bliss is still running lap times faster than Kyle Busch when Kyle's been in this traffic. We'll see once they get out here in clean air how fast this 18 car can go, see if he can match the lap times or actually beat Mike Bliss.
Yeah, I think that'd be the equalizer if the 18 had run in traffic all day and then everybody else could not be. But obviously that can't happen, but seems to be. But he's right on the bottom. Still very good car.
Saw the margin a moment ago. It's just a little over 3 seconds between Bliss and Kyle Busch, who is coming. Lap 117 of 200. Mike Bliss is our leader. Back at Dover, Mike Bliss's lead was 3.5 seconds a moment ago. It is almost 2.5 seconds. Kyle Busch has cut a second off of the lead. There is Bliss, the leader, flashing by the start-finish line, and there comes Kyle Busch, who has led 97 laps today.
Yeah, and it's not because the 18's that much faster. It's just Mike Bliss is encountering lap traffic, and it's taking him a little bit more time. He's kind of caught the guys at the wrong spot.
59 car Marcos Ambrose. Remember, he's the team car to Kelly Byers that had that huge lick in the wall in turn 1. Watch this anxious moment.
Yeah, a little bit loose up. No, that's a lot loose up out of the corner. It's
got the wall too.
Not a lot. That's minimal damage there as we watch it from Brad Keselowski's view here coming up out of turn 4. Yeah, that's when you're thinking you're
Stay low there, stay low there, stay low, low. Watch that 60, you got to run.
He was 11th, now he's back to 13th, talking about Marcus Ambrose there. Now, a moment ago, an incident involving the 20 car of Joey Logano. Logano was battling the 99 car of David Rudiman in 9th position.
These guys get real close together right here off the corner. Right there, you see the right side exhaust pipe of the 99 cut the left rear tire on this 20 car of Joey Logano, and that sent Joey Logano to the pits with a flat left rear.
Yeah, he went from running in the top 10 to 2 laps behind now.
Yeah, that's great camera work. We got that shot there. You can see how that exhaust pipe can just rip the side out of the tire.
He came on and off pit road. That's what's left of the tire, the old exhaust pipe into the rear tire routine, huh?
That'll take care of it right there. No match. It's kind of a mismatch right there. Exhaust pipe against the tire.
Logano, by the way, lost 2 laps by that pit stop and changing tires. He's now being shown back in 26th position. Cousin Carl on the move in the 60 car, trying to move in on 11th spot. His teammate David Reagan.
Yeah, he's starting to come back to life a little bit here. He had fallen back quite a bit, and we see some damage on the left front of his car from that apparently contact on pit road. And looked like it might have might have hurt the handling on Carl's car, but he has moved himself back into the 11th spot now.
How about Josh Wise in his 22 car up in the top 10? Done a great job here.
He continues to impress. That, you know, every time that he gets in these race cars, in good race cars, he just shows what kind of talent he has. And just wait for the day that he gets in, and not to take away from the equipment that he's in here, but certainly it's not capable of winning races. I think it's probably less capable than what he is right now. He's showing that he has the talent to win if you give him the right car.
You can see a shot right there, Carl Edwards' car. He's got some damage on that left front fender up on the top side. That's probably hurting his car some.
Carl Edwards came into the day 207 points behind Clint Boyer in the battle for the championship. Boyer's had his issues with Carl, both on pit road. More on Carl. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, when that happened, Doc, he lost about 9 positions on pit road. But since that incident, Carl hasn't said that it affected his car negative at all. I think it's actually helped him. He just came on the radio a few moments ago and said, my car's freeing up just a little bit. It's not as tight as it's been all race. So, guys, it's one of those fortunate situations for the 60 car. Unlike the 2-car Clint Boyer, he's struggling with that car, guys.
Yeah, Jamie, it might have just reshaped that fender enough to help him, actually. You know, most times you think it hurts the aerodynamics, but there could be a situation where it could enhance them.
That's so totally different than what we're used to here in the past, that cars would always tighten up as you ran on. So his car is freeing up some. I would have to say that would be a good thing.
The 2-car of Boyer, who got damage on both the left and right front fender, has been mired back in 19th position. He is the last car on the lead lap. Let's listen in. Frustration on the part of one driver, and Kevin Harvick off the pace, headed to the garage area.
He's done. He's pulling in the garage. It's usually a sign of an engine problem.
He had moved all the way up into the top 5. And the 2-time champion, Rusty, headed to the garage area.
Yeah, it really is. We have to check this problem out. I heard this is a new designed engine out of Richard Childress Racing. So the guys are trying to pep up these SB2 Chevrolet engines, try to get ready for next year and see if they can make as much power as the Toyota and the R07 I'm hearing. So we'll have to find out what happened here.
Yeah, we saw him put the car up into gear and drive. You could hear it running, but that must be. It'll be interesting to find out exactly what is wrong with Kevin Harvick's cars. We see our leader, Mike Bliss, here.
He's still got a 2-second lead on Kyle Busch. He's doing a great job holding this interval.
I think we need to point out right now is we have 63 laps to go at this point. Nobody can make it from here, I don't believe, Andy. Is that correct?
No, they have to make one more pit stop. And these guys here, the 1 car, they pitted last on like lap 72. And these other guys pitted on lap 99. So they both have to make stops.
Kevin Harvick climbing out of the car. He had moved up to 3rd position early in the race and then dropped back, and a couple of puffs of smoke out of this car. Yeah, a little bit of smoke out of the right side.
Yeah, he knew he's definitely got a problem here. That's definitely an engine problem. More than likely a piston or a valve.
It's unfortunate. Kevin had a great car today, and I know that he looked at this as one of those races. We keep talking about him trying to get his first win in his own car. Not going to happen today.
See all the guys, the crew guys, scrambling around trying to figure out what it is.
Let's hear what he said, told the team a moment ago.
Boys, that's it. I got no brakes. Brakes don't work at all, Shane, so I don't know how we're going to stop it. Yes, that's where I was thinking where we need to pull in. I don't know if we come on the pit road or try to slow down enough to get into the garage.
So that's not an engine after all. We got a crash on the track.
Trouble on the racetrack. The 4-car, Derek Cope involved. The 11 car, Scott Lagacy. There's Cope. He will continue on. Lagacy coming down across the racetrack.
Or if he just got into the car on the entry. We're done.
Heavy damage on this 11 car.
Lagacy getting in the car and replacing Jason Keller this week. And that car pretty much is done for the day. Fourth caution flag today, lap 141, and this will be a break, particularly for the leader, Mike Bliss, who was going at the pit in about 7 or 8 laps. The others had about 20 more laps to go.
They can all make it from here, so you'll see these guys on pit road.
Yeah, another break was for Clint Boyer, who was the next car to be lapped. He was only about 2.5 seconds ahead of our leader, Mike Bliss, so it's going to leave him on the lead lap. See the 2 cars get together. 11 car just looked like he might have blown a right front tire. I don't know if he got loose there and corrected it into the 4, or if he blew a right front tire to start with.
Yeah, we thought Harvick had an engine problem. It sure looked like it, but right here they're having a brake issue. Looks like the caliper's actually come apart. It's the brake caliper and rotor assembly.
Let's check in on our Castrol GTX triple pits. This could be the money stop. Maybe the last time they're on pit road. Jamie.
And Jason Leffler's best finish this year, 4th. He's been running 3rd now for quite a few laps. He says the car's pretty good. It's still a tick tight. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. 2 rounds down on that track bar. 4 tires of fuel for 38. Mike?
Mike Bliss says the car gets tighter as the run goes on. He's looking for an air pressure adjustment, a half-pound in the right rear, just trying to free him up a little bit. Otherwise, he's real happy with his car, Dave.
A little tight to the center, very good off. 4 tires, air pressure out of the air right front and the right rear, and Sunoco fuel in the 18. Again, slow on this stop. Again, only beat out by 1 car.
Only 2 tires for Scott Wimmer. He will gain 3 spots and be the first car off of pit road. Kyle Busch, the air pressure adjustments, he will be in 2nd spot. There is Bobby Hamilton Jr., the Ed Renzione car, up 9 positions. Crew camera, rear tire carrier, Ben Steger from Fairfax, Virginia, for Stephen Wallace on the 66 car. Can Stephen Wallace get yet another top 10 at Dover? Good pit work for this team here. Back with a green flag in just a moment. Lap 144, the Camping World RV Sales 200. This is Kevin Harvick's car in the garage area. They're trying to find out what happened with the brake assembly here in the front of the car.
Yeah, they're taking this hubcap off right here to see if they have a wheel bearing that's gone out, and it looks like that might be the case. They have a lot of heat. You can see in that hubcap. You see all that wear in that rotor. That means something gave loose. Something came loose in that spindle assembly.
And that's what created his brake problem, Andy?
Yeah, what happened is you lose control of that hub, and it just starts wobbling inside that caliper and starts knocking the pads all over the place.
So the smoke we were seeing coming out of the car was coming underneath the car and out the side.
It was actually probably the grease out of that hub and maybe some brake fluid getting on the headers and on this hot spindle.
When he finds out what happens, there's probably going to be some coming out of his ears, too. Right?
Yeah.
Not going to be very happy about something like that happening. Just you don't hear much of that anymore, especially in a 200-mile race.
No, there's no. You're not supposed to have that kind of problem. I don't care if it's a 1,000-mile race. That wheel bearing is supposed to live a long time. You can see here they do have a wheel bearing issue. They're trying to get. They need to get this nut off of here so they can get that hub or that rotor assembly off and the hub so they can change the spindle. They'll have to change the entire assembly over there.
As hot as that got, it probably almost welded in there.
It's welded now. Let's go down to Tim Brewer and see if he can help us shed some light on this.
Hey, Andy, you're exactly right. Folks, this is a cutaway front hub right here. And the Timken people, they've been making these bearings for a long time, and I've never seen one burn up, because what you have is when that oil comes away from that bearing, like Andy says, this thing right here literally eats away at itself, and it begins flopping back and forth. And that's the reason you've seen all that wear on the rotor. But as far as the Timken company, hey, they've made quality parts and wheel bearings. All you have to do is maintenance these things and pack them properly. You never have an issue with them. But when Kevin Harvick evaluates what happened there, I'd say somebody's going to be in deep trouble.
Indeed, Tim. Kevin Harvick hoping he has better luck tomorrow. Well, he will start 24th as the chase for the Sprint Cup continues here at the Monster Mile. Kyle Busch wanted here in the spring. Greg Biffle led the most laps. Who will it be? The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Dover, presented by Principal Financial Group on ABC tomorrow, beginning with our coverage of NASCAR Countdown, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Alan Bestwick, Brad Daugherty, and Rusty Wallace. Front row, Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. How good could that one be? Those two, both 4-time winners here at Dover. Our leader, Scott Wimmer, remember he only took 2 tires. He was the first car off of pit road. Kyle Busch in 2nd spot. There is Mike Bliss, who was the leader when the caution came out.
Yeah, we talked about 2 tires here. It doesn't happen much. You don't see that happen many times, but we got a new right side tire. Let's see what Scott Wimmer can do with those 2.
We mentioned Wimmer won at Nashville early in the year on concrete, brought the same concrete winner that he had at Nashville, but right now he's going to get his doors blown off by Kyle Busch.
Boy, he made that look easy.
Yeah, he needed about an 8 at least to hold him back. That car is just extremely, extremely fast here today. Has been most weeks, but Kyle Busch is...
Well, Mike Bliss was able to run very comparable lap times when the one car was out front. Now that he's in traffic, I believe that the advantage definitely falls towards Kyle Busch.
I think Mike Bliss is probably going to have a second-place car here today. They made a good pit stop to get out. The 18 car did beat him out of the pits.
But you know what Alan Bestwick always says? It's not over till it's over.
Yeah. See Bliss can do with Wimmer. By the way, the driver of the 11 car, Scott Lagasse, was checked out and released from the infield care center.
See, looking back here from Scott Wimmer's car, battle ongoing for second. But, you know, Carl Edwards is in 7th, and Clint Boyer right now is in 14th for our championship standings.
Boyer came on and off pit road a couple of times during that caution flag. They made some adjustments on the front of the car, track bar adjustments, air pressure. There's the 2 car. Dangerously on the inside of the racetrack in a mess back there.
Now there's Denny Hamlin. He got his lap back the last time. He was the free pass, so he is on the lead lap. Clint Boyer battling him for spot in those points to go along with it.
Boyer is 16th, or was 16th. Now Hamlin is 16th. He is 17th.
Now this one car, Mike Bliss, he needs to get by Scott Wimmer because Kyle Busch is getting out too far. He doesn't want to let him get out of sight here.
Yeah, not only that, he wants to do that, but in case the caution should come back out, he wants to be able to restart right on the bumper of that 18.
Now he heard you and decides to go ahead and make the pass. Mike?
Well, guys, it may look like Kyle Busch is pulling away and that the 1 and the 29 may be running for second right now, but there is hope for both of these guys. Mike Bliss radioed in not too long ago, and he said after 3 or 4 laps on these tires, you have to slow down. The tire just can't hold the speed, and he said once the pace slows down, that's when we get better. Pay attention to that with the 1. Meanwhile, the 29, Scott Wimmer, he said during practice he felt like he was a little bit slower than the 18 car on short runs, but he felt like he was very competitive on a par level even with the 18 under long runs. If we get a long green flag run, both of these guys might be able to close the gap.
I think so. I like what he said right there, and I've seen that today out of this one car. He's better after they've run some laps. He's got a shot at this thing still.
Leffler and Rudeman battling for 4th position here. Leffler the 38, Rudeman the 99. While you watch this, let's visit with the driver of the 11 car, Scott Lagasse. Shannon.
Yeah, Doc, making his first start today for CJM Motorsports, Scott Lagasse. Walk me through what happened from your perspective.
I hate it for our guys. They've been working hard. We've been struggling with hitting the racetrack since we got here. If I used the brake pedal, and I just screwed up. I used a little too much brake getting in underneath the bore, and I hate it for him, the bore car, because I got into it. When I got into it, it just got come around on me. So, gotta thank everyone at American's Incredible Pizza just for giving me the opportunity and basically using this 7 races to get ready for next year. But I don't know, rough day.
All right, Doc. Scott Lagasse walked up to me. He said, you know, I love this place. It just doesn't like me.
Tough day and a pretty hard lick for that second-generation driver. Here, good battle back in the pack here. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. There is Marcus Ambrose, who had his hands full about 20 laps ago. He's gotten this car back in the top 15, now being passed by Denny Hamlin, and in danger of being passed by the points leader, Clint Boyer.
Yeah, they're in a battle there, and that's not really where Clint Boyer wants to be in trying to protect this points lead, not lose any more than what he has to. They've kind of at a single file now, and that's a lot better scenario than what he was looking at just a couple of laps ago, where they were 2 and trying to be 3 wide.
As of right now, Clint Boyer would lose almost 40 points of his 207-point lead he had coming into the day. Side by side again for position. This is for 4th spot, Leffler and Rudeman. And here comes cousin Carl right behind him in the 60 car.
Rudeman's been trying to take this spot away. You can see him getting loose right there on the inside.
Oh, we got a problem here on 4, guys.
Landon Castle had just bounced it off the concrete.
One more car here. Okay.
But here a spotter claimed that they got turned there, but he had just been into the wall just prior to this.
Now here's the first time when he slid up inside. He's on the outside of Mike Wallace.
You can see that car really just take off towards the wall.
As they get down into turn 3 here. Close racing. Mike Wallace gets a little bit loose.
Yeah,
goes up the racetrack.
Knocks the air out of the left rear tire in the process.
You know, sometimes you want to hold that car down that's trying to pass you, but you take that chance, and I don't know, I can't say Landon Castle did anything wrong there at all.
That's twice in a row. Back in the spring, he was running 7th and was taken out in a similar kind of contact incident in the corner here at Dover. Here again. They were running 12th and 13th, and the 5-car
still outside, got to spin behind you, still outside. Yellow's out, yellow's out.
Caution for the 5th time today here. Contact for the 19-year-old into the concrete. When we come back, Kyle Busch will have Mike Bliss on his bumper for the restart.
Our Dover coverage today, just part of a busy weekend of motorsports on the ESPN networks. Coming up next, coverage of Sprint Cup Series Happy Hour. Happened earlier today. You'll see it coming up in just a minute. Then tonight, NHRA O'Reilly Auto Parts qualifying, 10 Eastern Time. NASCAR Now pre-race edition tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern Time. Then our coverage of the race presented by Principal Financial Group from the Monster Mile, ABC 1 Eastern Time, and the NASCAR Now race wrap-up, 11:30 Eastern Sunday night. All coming up on ESPN2 and ABC. 38 laps to go in the Camping World RV Sales 200. Going to get a little intense.
It's going to get real intense right now, starting to heat up. We didn't see many cautions earlier in the event, but Brad, man, when you start running out of laps, these guys start running out of patience, and they're going to try to get some spots.
They're starting to fight for that little bit of extra real estate to advance these race cars. And I tell you, the guys up front, Kyle Busch, Bliss, Wimmer, Leffler, they're getting really racy. And if you look right behind them in 6th and 7th, you got Edwards and Keselowski, who are bearing down on old Clint Boyer, who happens to be all the way back in 15th.
Some of the championship guys rallying after earlier troubles. The championship leader stuck back in traffic. And how about a great run by Bobby Hamilton Jr., Shannon?
Yeah, Alan, you know, he's overcome a pit road speeding penalty to come back into the top 10. He had restarted 17th after that pit road. So this is a great run for that car. The number 25 team who is looking for a sponsor next year, Alan.
All right, Shannon, as we get set to go here, it'll be 37 laps to go on the restart. And Andy?
It's not over till it's over.
Kyle Busch has led a lot, but there's a long way to go, pal.
Let's listen in and go full throttle.
Looking inside, at your bumper, still there, at your bumper, clear by 1.
Clear by 4.
3 wide middle, clear low. Still outside. Right with you. You're good. You're all good. All good. Clear by 1.
Don't you just love it? 3-story high concrete banks in Dover, Delaware. Laps winding down. You got to get what you can get right now. And the question is, can the 88 car get up there? Here comes David Reagan inside his teammate. Carl Edwards is trying to hold on. Carl said, I need these points to try to win this championship.
Brad Keselowski's trying to battle back from everything they've had going on in the pits. They've made a mess of this race today in the pit area and actually injured a couple of crew members, and now he's trying to battle back on the racetrack. He's up to 6th spot, trying to take that 5th spot away from David Rudeman right now. Got a lot of racing back here too. Clint Boyer's in the middle of it again.
Boyer now starting to get a little bit racy. He came on and off pit road again during that latest caution flag. Now he's moved back his car into the top 15 and 12 spot.
They've been working hard on that car on pit road. Every stop they've been in there trying to get it fixed and getting it better and better.
Seeing Stephen Wallace right there. I was watching him on that restart, and he got caught up behind the 9 and the 81 who were battling side by side, even though they were lapped down, and was wondering just how much patience he was going to show, and he did a great job.
He did. I watched that too, and he exercised some patience by these guys, and now he's got some clean air.
Stephen Wallace has got a very good race car. Just missed a top 10 finish here back in the spring. Battle for 6th position. Carl's got it. Brad wants it.
And this 88 car's fast.
Yeah, he is. Carl's trying to come back and actually make the pass back on him. Carl's car just doesn't seem to take off on these restarts very good. I don't know if that's the air pressure or if it's just the feeling of his car. You can see him get loose in the 88 of Keselowski coming back to the inside here. But after you run about 3 or 4 laps, then Carl's car starts taking off again.
Keselowski is third in the point standings behind Carl Edwards, some 70 points back of Carl coming into the day.
You can hear him have to crack the throttle just a little bit of Brad Keselowski right there as we were riding along with him up out of 4. You could hear he got in the gas hard, but you just couldn't carry that momentum on off the corner.
Man, that's a great shot right there just to show you how hard these guys drive through the corner.
'32 car of Denny Hamlin, who had made the unscheduled stop back on lap 34 because of a loose tire, loose wheel, lost 2 laps, has now driven this car back on the lead lap and is being shown in 11th position, looking back from Jamie McMurray.
He seems to still be battling this car just a little bit. We look back, he having to fight the car a little bit in the center, doing what we call diamond in the corner a little bit. We were talking about Denny Hamlin there, where he goes up the racetrack and then he'll cut it back across and try to get a good run off the corner. But he's losing a little too much time in the middle of the corner to the 17 of Jamie McMurray right here.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's got a very good car today, but he's been very resourceful in playing with the lines and really working hard getting these laps back. He's done a great job today.
Dave?
I just want to let you know what they did on that last pit stop. He had reported that the car was too loose, so they made just an air pressure adjustment and 4 fresh tires for Hamlin.
27 laps to go, and don't look now. You heard what Mike said about Mike Bliss talking about how good his car would be once you get into a longer run. Well, that is indeed what is happening, because Bliss, the last 3 laps, has been faster than Kyle Busch. Does he have enough time and laps to catch him? Laps clicking away here. 20 laps to go at Dover, Delaware. Kyle Busch, the leader. Mike Bliss trying to move in. He's still quicker. And he's about 2 seconds back. Scott Wimmer in 3rd spot, some 4 seconds back in the 29 car.
It's obvious these guys are running 1st, 2nd, 3rds. They're working a lot less than that driver's compartment than the rest of these guys are.
Some of these guys are really, really working their cars.
We have seen battles all over this racetrack. Guys trying to take spots away. A moment ago, Keselowski taking David Rudemann's 5th spot away. And now Rudeman in jeopardy of getting his position lost by Carl Edwards at his 6th position, as Carl and David Reagan are on the march.
But just up in front of those guys, you can see the 88 cars passed these guys and driven away a little bit, and now is trying to take the 4th spot away from Jason Leffler. So this is important for Carl. That's actually where they're racing for would be a 5-point swing in trying to get to that 6th spot.
And time's running out. 18 laps to go. Carl's looking up at the scoreboard saying, I need to get these spots.
Yeah, Clint Boyer being shown back in 13th position. So right now it would be about a 25-point swing in favor of Carl Edwards if they were to finish where they're running right now.
I can assure you that Clint Boyer would love for this thing to end right now and say, I'll only lose 25 points. So we see the Brad Keselowski has caught Jason Leffler here in the 38 car. Brad made the other 2 passes on those guys that we mentioned. Carl Edwards.
How about Morgan Shepherd, this 89 car?
He's up in 23rd today.
Spot. He made a pit stop earlier and got a right front tire.
Kevin Hamlin, he got a right front tire. Times are tough. And Kevin Hamlin in the 81 there. That's Morgan battling for 22nd position. Morgan, by the way, a former winner here.
I say that because it just shows you how limited his resources are. He's just making use of what he has and doing a great job here today.
Randy McDonald on car number 81 with Kevin Hamlin in it. Both of them trying to get in the top 20. 15 laps to go. Kyle Busch trying to get his 8th win of the season in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. There's the guy that's chasing him, Mike Bliss, and it has been almost 4 years since Mike Bliss has gone to victory lane. How hungry should this driver be to try to win one here? Charlotte, October 2004, some 66 races ago.
Oh, he's hungry, I'll guarantee you that. And this is a great race for this team. They're sitting here 14 laps to go in 2nd spot, but the problem is they got Kyle Busch up in front of them in one of those Gibbs cars, and they've been almost unbeatable this year.
Yeah, Mike Bliss and this team, they're running well enough now to slip in there and get a victory. And we see David Rudeman still trying to hold off Carl Edwards in the 60. David Reagan right behind him.
6th, 7th, 8th.
This is quite a battle they're having here. David Rudeman's really getting off the corner good. Carl Edwards gains a little bit on him in the center.
Here comes Denny Hamlin in his 32 car sneaking in the picture.
Yeah, now he's going to join the fun. Well, Hamlin coming from 2 laps down after the unscheduled stop back on lap 34 for a loose wheel.
You could see him drive up under the 6 there. Got him a little bit loose. David Reagan had his hands full getting off that corner.
I think David Reagan felt that. Caution's out.
Caution's out. Still outside.
Debris on the racetrack, we are being told, and that will put the yellow out for the 6th time today. Front straightaway, lap 189. Well, 11 laps to go, and now Mike Bliss will be able to pull right up on the rear deck of Kyle Busch. Wimmer will also be there. What will happen in the final laps? Back in a moment. Tonight on ABC, a key SEC Pac-10 matchup. The Georgia Bulldogs look to remain unbeaten as they head out to play the Arizona State Sun Devils. Will Georgia's ground attack respond in the hostile environment in Tempe? Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Working caution for the 6th time today. And the 20 car, Joey Logano, by the way, the Aaron's lucky dog free pass, getting back on the lead lap. He will now be the 20 car in 20th position. Now the question is, less than 10 laps to go. Single file restart. Can Bliss, Wimmer, or maybe even Keselowski, who's driven his car back into the top 5, have something for the 18 car?
They're going to give it all they have. This 18 has been so fast on restarts, though, it's going to be hard for these guys.
I think Mike Bliss knows the Andy Petrie philosophy that if you can catch him and you got a bumper intact, you can pass him.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Kyle Busch, I've always been amazed.
Yeah, he better do it now before that pace truck gets off.
I said, if you can catch him.
Kyle Busch is so good at getting that throttle down and not spinning the rear tires, though. It's just amazing how quick he gets up through the gears and gets away, right there, gets away from these guys. And then he'll run wide open down through this corner, and he'll have about 4 car lengths at the time we get off of turn 2.
7 laps to go. There comes Denny Hamlin back up. David Reagan on the inside of Carl Edwards.
Yeah, this is not really what Carl was wanting to see, especially since his car is not quite that good on the restarts. Looks will be a little bit better here. He's trying to take advantage and see if he can get inside of.
He's got position on left right here.
Look at Clint Boyer, the 2 car trying. He goes by the 6 car.
Wow, where did he come from?
Now he's within 2 spots of Carl Edwards. What kind of comeback would that be point-wise for him?
Yeah, he made a nice move on the outside of the restart there and got a few of these guys.
32 car just got a little nudge on the side of the 60 car.
Carl's going to drive hard. He knows those points are important. 32 has a good car. Carl's able to get back down to the bottom and protect that spot.
Yeah, the 18 car, Kyle Busch, already has a 1.2 second lead over second spot.
David Stremme making a move on the bottom of the racetrack.
88.
And here's the car you were talking about in commercial a moment ago. How Brad Keselowski trying to take the position away in the 3rd spot.
Wow, this has been impressive for him today. And it's unfortunate he had the problems. He might be the only guy out there that really could have something for the 18.
Time's running out for him, but he has a great car, and they've done a great job. I don't know who's worked harder today, Brad Keselowski or Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. We just hope everybody on that 88 team is okay today. We've word that a few injuries there, but hopefully everybody's fine. You see him just driving the wheels off of this thing right now.
Yeah, in case you just joined our coverage, the car fell off the jack when they were changing tires. The right front and right rear carriers were involved and got some hands pinched.
A lot of racing right here. Clint Boyer trying to make up a few more spots. You can see him get together with David Reagan right there.
10th, 11th, 12th. This is the 12th place car. Mike Wallace showing you what the bumping and rubbing there between the points leader and Reagan.
Mike Wallace.
Ooh, there's a little bit of rub right there. Oh, we got a crash on the front stretch.
On the 5 car and Stephen Wallace involved.
It's the 2nd time this 5 car has been involved.
Stephen Wallace was having at least a top 15 finish, maybe a top 12 finish. Involved in this one now. Caution for the 7th time today.
That in car right there that just went by, that was Kevin Harvick, who's gotten his car back out there. But these guys hit hard, and that's the nature of this racetrack. If you were with us earlier, you heard Rusty Wallace talk about that very thing. When things happen off of these corners, you go down to that inside wall and you hit hard.
Now we're going to overtime, boys.
Guys, coming to you. Something's wrong with the right front. I think we blew it out. Harold is coming to you.
Yeah, the left front tire is definitely flat there on Stephen Wallace's car.
Got a right rear, left front, right front. Got a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're going to need 4 on that one. Here's what happened.
See, Stephen just gets a little loose, and you know, this 5 car is you know, kind of crippled running up above these guys.
Yeah, Joey Logano just snuck by there. If you saw that, the 20 car, as Stephen Wallace was spinning down across the track.
Oh, Logano just
and the 5.
Ooh, man, he missed it twice. He missed it just by inches.
I'm sure he's going to look at it. He had an unfortunate day whenever he had the flat tire earlier, but
this will set up the 8th green-white checkered of the year. Once we get them restarted, it'll be the green flag, the white flag, and then the winner here at Dover. Back in just a moment.
Dover International Speedway, where the Camping World RV Sales 200 is about to go to a little racing version of overtime for the 8th time this year. You see the races that have gone to extra distance. It just follows up what I said earlier. It's not over yet.
It's not over till it's over, that's for sure. The intensity's heating up, just like we said early. And you saw a couple guys just going after it with a couple laps to go, trying to get some spots.
And it's not just for the lead. All those guys back in that lead lap group are fighting hard for spots, and that's why you get so many wrecks in these late laps.
You're absolutely right. But I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with Brad Keselowski. He has got that race car up in the 3rd position. He is in a poised position to get himself an opportunity maybe to get the victory lane.
Well, Mike Bliss has got one more shot at Kyle Busch's back bumper. Doc, Andy, and DJ. Question is, can he hang with him this time?
What do you think, guys?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, Kyle Busch has just been too strong on these restarts. I don't know. I really don't know what Mike Bliss can do to try to get him here.
The run and go he would have to get, NASCAR's not going to allow, so that's the problem. We see Jason Leffler here has some overheating problems. He's knocked the grill in on that, and it's not getting any air.
NASCAR said they're going to blow off some of the tire debris on the straightaway, so we're going to take a break and then come back with the green-white checkered. Kyle Busch, Mike Bliss, Brad Keselowski, 1, 2, 3. There is only one attempt that NASCAR will allow at overtime. Green-white checkered. 7 cautions for 34 laps, and it has come down to this. Can Kyle Busch hang on? Bliss is hungry, and he's right on the rear deck as the green flag waves.
Yeah, that was a mistake that he made, because as soon as Kyle Busch felt him right there or saw him in his mirror, he took off. Good strategy. He might lose the 2nd spot to Brad Keselowski if he's not careful.
Yeah, he's going to have to race. He's going to have to race this 88 car hard.
Pulls him by 2 car lengths up out of turn 2. It'll be white flag this time by.
Kyle Busch just too strong for these guys.
Flag.
It's just been impressive all day long. Jason Leffler and the 99 car getting together going into turn 1.
Leffler able to make the pass, but the 32 car goes by. Denny Hamlin goes by and takes a spot. Final lap, turn 3 for the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Out of turn 4, and Rowdy Busch will do it for the 8th time in the NASCAR Nationwide Series in 2008.
Good job, boys. Good job. Nice pit stop. Good job, Joel. Hey, don't forget to get the flag, man.
Carl Edwards came home 5th. Clint Boyer back in the 10th spot, so a few points changed hands there today. That guy there was just totally dominating all day. An incredible race car and driver.
Yeah, Kyle Busch led 3 times for 157 laps. Bliss credited with his best finish of the year, 2nd. Keselowski finishes 3rd, Wimmer 4th, Edwards 5th.
The last lap got kind of exciting going down into turn 1. You can see the side of David Rudiman's car. Jason Leffler got a good run. See him coming off down the front straightaway off of 4. He was ready to take the spot. Rudiman wasn't going to give it to him.
Rudiman didn't give him much room on the bottom right there.
Well, that's the last lap.
Yep. Yeah, I guess you take what you can.
Yep.
Another incident here, Joey Logano also getting into the 99.
David Ruderman can't get any respect here.
He's probably glad this thing's over.
And so he goes from 6th to his finish of 17th in the final lap. Let's go down where Mike is caught up with the crew chief.
Well, Doc, when crew chief Jason Ratcliffe was suspended a few weeks ago, a lot of people said, well, the 18 will never be the same. Well, that's been anything but the case. Crew chief by committee, again, paying dividends. Steve Addington, a familiar face. He was just an advisor today. Instead, it was Joel Weidman who called the winning race. How did this whole system work for you guys today?
It was the crew chief by committee, and I just got to be the lucky one to make the calls and get interviewed. But it was help. It was a great job by Kyle. You know, when you have Kyle as a driver, it makes life easy, and we really didn't do much all day. So it's a testament to everybody back at the shop. The cars that they give us at the track, it was pretty easy.
That's crew chief Joel Weidman's first career win, Doc, and he says they really didn't do much all day. Easy to believe when you saw how dominant the 18 car was.
Total domination. This is the same car that Denny Hamlin used back in the spring to lead 131 laps. Today it was Kyle Busch's turn to drive the car, and he led 157 of 200 laps. 8th win of the year in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. It is the 19th win for Kyle Busch in NASCAR's 3 major series. The NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Dover, Delaware is history, and Kyle Busch has dominated the day once again. Let's go down to Dave.
Wow. That's not all sweat, but it looked like it wasn't much of a sweat out there today. Do we have that wrong, or was that a pretty good ride?
It was a great effort by this whole team. Joel Weidman, you know, the new crew chief, on board this week. Those guys are getting them now, but he deserves it. You know, he did a great job calling the race today, and of course we got to say hey to the guys back at home, and you know, thank Jim Sexton and Z-Line Toyota. Got to thank the fans, everybody that come out here today and watched on TV and everything. So I mean, it wasn't easy, but it was a pretty flawless day for us, and we made it look easy.
Kyle, it's your 3rd win here, first time in the Nationwide Series. Do you have a pretty good feel for this track after 3 wins?
I hope so anyways, but you know, Mike was coming there at the end. He was getting better, and it looked like the 88 car was getting better as well too, so you never know what could have happened if a different scenario played out there in the beginning or whatever. But I felt like our car was a great race car, and you know, it was able to come up through traffic well there, so we proved that it just wasn't an out front car. And you know, thank QVC for coming on board with us again, Z-Line Designs, trying to get them together for next year again, and NOS Energy Drink, Electric Sunglasses, all the boys that make it happen.
Kyle Busch in victory lane again, this time in Dover. Jamie?
And what a day it was for Mike Bliss. He led 44 laps, best finish of the year. But what did you say about Kyle Busch when you got out of the car?
Well, you know, I can't say everything, but I just said, why the hell did he pick this race to run? You know, he's been running here and there, and that 18 was fast. We had a great car, man. Our Mikasuki Chevrolet was fast today. We were really fast on long runs. Short runs just wasn't quite there, but I'm happy for these guys. We're so close to winning. Our pit stops were good. Everything was good. We're just this close, you know, and we're going to get it, James. Believe me, we're close, and just sucks to lose.
6 races to go. Is it possible for you guys to get to victory lane this year, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get to it. I think Memphis is a great shot. I think next week, Kansas, we're going to win one. You know, I think maybe we'll win 2. That first one's always hard to win. We're good. We've been good. We just haven't had everything go our way.
Well, they need more days like today, and they surely will get to victory lane. Mike?
And Jamie, another guy who didn't have everything go his way was Brad Keselowski. A couple of problems on pit road, but man, you came back. How would you describe the battle today?
Oh, it's just a long day, but you know, there's going to be days where I struggle, and there's going to be days where the pit crew struggles, and at the end of the day, they're with me when I have a bad day, and I'm with them when they have a bad day. So you know, just that's racing. You know, it's a team sport, and it takes everything to go right to win, and just didn't work out for us today with the US Navy Chevrolet, but we'll keep plugging away, and hopefully have another strong run as we finish out the season.
Coming into this race, you had a strong average finish on concrete tracks, 3.4, and you improved upon that today. What is it about you and this style of racetrack?
I really like tracks like Dover and Bristol. They're fast, they're in your face, and they ask for a lot out of you, and it just adapts to my style, and I just have a lot of fun on them. It's a good time.
Brad Keselowski brings it home third. Shannon?
Yeah, Mike, well, the number 2 team has definitely said that consistency is what's going to win them this championship. Clint Boyer, top 10 finish. First, tell me what happened on pit road between you and the 60.
Yeah, this pit road's just tight. I mean, I was on the outside of him there, and the 99 just came out and turned straight right and into the 60 and into the 2 and put me in the fence. But it is what it is. I mean, it's just like tight quarters, and it's the nature of the beast here. I should have known better. I kind of saw it right at the last minute, and there just wasn't enough time to hit the brakes and get out of the way. But, you know, that's what this team's about. You never give up, keep digging, and that's what's going to win us the championship.
Yeah, you guys were as far back as 20th. Walk me through those last few restarts. Every restart, you knew that you were able to make some spots up.
Yeah, I got on the outside there, and I passed a lot of cars, but I wasn't too sure I needed to be there because I got up there. The tires were chattering. It was tight plowing. I was kind of in the way, but, you know, thankfully everything worked out. It got pretty wild there at the end, so there's not any fights going on, is there? No.
Didn't see any. Clint Boyer, top 10 finish for this championship team right now, guys.
And his teammate Scott Wimmer finishes 4th, started 10th. You take us through your last closing laps there, those restarts, Scott.
Well, it was pretty tough. We opted a little different pit strategy. The only way we were going to beat the 18 was try to get in front of them, so we took 2 tires twice there and just ran out of left side tires at the end there. But Pat and the guys did a great job. Restarts were tricky. We definitely didn't need them at the end, and we got a bunch, but not a bad day for us.
4 races left with this team. Looking forward, you guys get back to victory lane, Scott?
Yeah, I'm looking forward. The next, well, except for Texas, I've won at all the racetracks, so we're going to try to go out and do that. And, you know, I've had a great time here at RCR. These guys give me great cars each and every week, so I'd like to get them a couple more wins.
Scott Wimmer and his crew chief, Pat Smith, have a great relationship. He will be back in the car the final 4 races of the season, Doc.
Great one by Wimmer, and the only shot they had was the 2 tires that did not work. Kyle Busch, 8th win of the year. It is the 11th time he has led the most laps. And moving on a record here for most wins in a season that's held by Sam Ard. He is tied Ard for 84, and Jack Ingram. 1 more win for Kevin Harvick, 2 for Sam Ard, and still have 6 races remaining here in the 2008 season. Yeah, John Force returning to the scene of that horrific accident in Dallas a year ago. We certainly wish him the best this weekend. Kyle Busch has had another great day here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, celebrating in victory lane, and his teammate for Joe Gibbs Racing came back to finish 6th. Mike.
And, of course, that's Denny Hamlin, but he had a little bit of a problem at the end. What was going on with your car?
We had the throttle hanging up, you know, some issue with the butterflies on the carburetor. We just looked at it, but just a tough day for the Haas Avocados car. Had a loose wheel at the beginning and then messed up the thread, so I had a loose wheel about every 40 laps after that. So it's tough to kind of get in the rhythm, but you know, I know Todd Braun and Trent, everyone's working their guts out trying to make this deal better. We just got to, if we can keep our cars together, we'll have good runs. We just got to eliminate a few problems.
I know the cars are completely different, but the tire being the common denominator here, did you learn anything that you can apply to Sunday?
A little bit. I mean, some lines and different things like that, but I was pretty impressed with how the 1 stayed out right there on old tires and was able to make up a lot of ground with good track position. So that's something we got to look at.
Shannon, Denny Hamlin bringing home with another top 10, although he wasn't with JGR today.
Yeah, Mike, take a look at this 38 car. Look at the side damage on Jason Leffler's car. It was a top 10 finish. Jason, what do you think when you sit here and look at this damage on your car?
That was a wild last lap. I got a run on the outside through on the outside of Rudiman through 3 and 4, and just quite didn't get there and dove to the bottom. I thought I was on the inside of him. I don't know if his spotter didn't tell him or what. And he just peeled down the track like I wasn't there, ran me up on the apron, and we hit. And I think we both finished. So it's a good day for the Great Clips Comcast Toyota. You know, it's unfortunate there on the last lap, but you know it gets down to 10 to go, and you get aggressive. And for sure, I got to see the replay because I thought for sure I was clearly under him, but I'm sure he thinks something different. That's the way racing is. We'll go on to the next one.
Yeah, this team has had sort of a string of bad races, whether it's luck or running-wise. Of course, a top 10 finish. How much momentum does that give you guys going into this last run of races?
Well, it's good. I mean, this time of the year, you know, you kind of know where you're going to end up in points and keeping the guys motivated. When Todd Losey came back on, we had a string of top 10s. Then starting at Bristol, we had a top 10 go away on the last lap, and we had about 3 bad races in a row. But we got it back. We're going to Kansas. We run really well there, and look forward to getting the Great Clips Toyota up front there.
All right, 8th place finish for Jason Leffler. Jamie?
Well, Josh Wise, great run today. We mentioned him. He was top finishing Dodge. Take us through your day. You finished 13th, Josh.
It was, you know, a
good day for us. You know, we worked on the car real hard through practice and got through a lot of changes. And, you know, Paul Wolf, everyone back at Fitz Motorsports did a good job, you know, putting the best setup under it, and kind of made the best of our day. Missed some crazy wrecks. Had a blast. It was cool. This track's really fun to race. So just got to thank everyone at MWR and Supercuts for letting me do this.
Definitely some great reaction times out there on the racetrack. Good run for Josh Wise, Doc.
Josh Wise getting better and better here as the year progresses. He is the test driver for Michael Waltrip Racing. That's what he said MWR for. Dave.
And, Doc, here's a driver who tested Dover's track in a big way today. Came home with a top 5. Carl, describe your day.
Eventful. There was a lot going on. The deal on pit road was bad. You know, I was side by side with Clint, and Ruderman pulled out of his pit, and I don't know if they cleared him out or whatever, but ended up tearing Clint's car up pretty bad. Mine just a little bit, but we fought back, and pretty wild there at the end with Leffler and Ruderman getting together. And I mean, to come out 5th with what I think, you know, I don't think the car was that good. You know, that was kind of, we were fortunate. You guys did a really good job on the World Financial Group Fusion.
Some days, that's the way it goes for you, Doc.
You just have those kind of days where it's perfect, but the good news for Carl Edwards is that he gained points today. He came into today 207 points back. He gains 21 points on Clint Boyer with 6 races to go. Can he get there?
Well, he's going to have to gain more than that, obviously, but it's a start. You have to start somewhere, so it was a pretty good day for him.
Jason Leffler, despite the overheating car, gains a spot. Marcus Ambrose hangs on to a top 10 points finish. Alan, from here we go on to Kansas City.
6 races to go in the Nationwide Series season, and as for this one at Dover, about the only thing that didn't go right for Kyle Busch all day was when he couldn't get the cork out of the champagne bottle in Victory Lane to douse his team.
Oh, man.
Couldn't spray anybody. But doing that too.
But I'm telling you, that's the only thing that went wrong for Kyle Busch all day. What an impressive performance.
It really was. There's many times during the day he had almost 0.4 of a second on the second-place car, and, man, that is fast. He just put it on a Brad all day long. He's just a class to the front of the day.
Absolutely hauling the heat all day long, looks strong, and I tell you what, Carl Edwards is in a good position, though, as we go forward. I'm looking forward to next week. I think he can still make up a lot of ground.
Coming up next, our same-day coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Happy Hour from here at Dover. Happened earlier today. See how your favorites are all shaping up for tomorrow's 400-mile go on the Monster Mile. A thought on tomorrow's race quickly?
Yeah, you better watch the entries of these corners and the exits. When you spin, you better watch that inside wall. We saw a lot of that today, and this is a tough track, but you got to be aggressive out there.
Kyle Busch lost 80 points last week. Can he make it up tomorrow? He's on the roll today. He's got the champagne flowing. Will it flow for him tomorrow?
Happy Hour is next right now, and then tomorrow, 1 Eastern Time, our coverage of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race presented by Principal Financial Group, ABC at 1 Eastern Time. So Kyle Busch dominates and wins a wild race here in Dover. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Sprint Cup Series Happy Hour is next. We'll talk to you tomorrow on ABC at 1 Eastern Time for race number 2 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.